This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Tom, we appreciate you jumping on with us as always. Again, a lot of questions about this Arkansas basketball team, not a lot of answers. I feel like we've been in the same position before where we're questioning, hey, what's going on? Is there chemistry issues? Why haven't they figured it out? In the last 3 years, they've proven otherwise. If we're looking on the positive side of things, Tom, what leads you to believe that they could come out of this bad spot and make another run in an NCAA tournament appearance?
Oh, good morning, guys. I think only, I would say the track record for Eric Musselman would be one reason. And also, don't they have to start shooting it better at some point? I mean, they've had open shots, and so I would say those things. But on the flip side of that, it's the competition level. I mean, they have got to compete better. I used a quote from Chris Jans after the first weekend of the season in my SEC report the first week, and it was it seems like some of the teams that were down are competing better and are moving up the chain. And by that, I mean you talk about Ole Miss and South Carolina and Georgia, maybe even LSU, all competing a lot better this year, and Arkansas not. And so it's a long way to go. I had not seen it in the terms Tommy used, win 11 of 15, just to get to 20 wins. Oh, that's going to be tough.
I mean, they're 9 wins now, 15 left in SEC play. I mean, it's just math at this point, and that I don't see how they do it. And I think barring an SEC tournament run, I think you may have to find some different goals to play for this season.
Yeah, that may be the case. And you know, here's where I see a little bit of a difference in the last several years and then this team is that at least the personnel, you know, they had settled on personnel. It was just a matter of refining some things and you know, getting incremental improvement. This year, I mean, Eric Musselman, you can see, is casting about for guys who are going to do the things they need. I mean, he used his own defense, you know, and it's like what guards are going to be the guys who get it done for you? Because on given days, sure, Joseph Pinion and Layden Blocker can have a fine game, you know, when the outcome is decided. But who, when the game's on the line? I mean, is Caleb Battle going to start, you know, improving on defense so he can stay on the court more? Who's going to come along with Tremont Mark and be a quality guy? I mean, he's shooting better than 50% from the field, Mark is. And they need more from Trevin Brazile. I mean, it's simple bottom line. All those things have to happen, and they have to be a tougher, more physical rebounding team.
Yeah. And, Tom, this was just a hard one to figure out because, I mean, when you looked at the teams that made the Sweet 16 and the level of veteran experience they had, upperclassmen experience they had on the roster, going heavy in the portal made all the sense in the world. But clearly going heavy in the portal has been, you know, part of the equation of why this season hasn't panned out. I can't put my finger on it, but I keep coming back to the analogy. It's like having 3 jigsaw puzzles in one box, and we're just wondering how in the world we're ever going to get all these pieces to fit together.
Man, that is a good analogy. And, I mean, the formula has worked for Eric Musselman. It's just that this particular formula isn't falling into place. And I don't know. I think it starts with because I've talked time and again, when guards are blowing by you and breaking down your defense, it leads to all that trouble. And so he got tired of seeing that. Florida just and I think Jimmy Dykes actually said it on the broadcast. When SEC teams look at Arkansas right now, they go, okay, we're going to the hole.
Yep.
And that's what they're doing. And so they switched to the zone, and it worked for a little while, or it changed things up for Florida, and they weren't as effective for a short while. Arkansas got back in the game, so to speak, and then it didn't work. So I don't know what the solution is, and, you know, this is why Eric Musselman is a guru. He's got to find ways to make it happen and at least start getting on the winning side of things. And having back-to-back home games against A&M and South Carolina, might as well start right there.
Tom Murphy's with us here on the McCarty-Daniel Hotline, Whole Hog Sports Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Tom, your old stomping grounds, Alabama, named a new head coach in Tuscaloosa. There are reports out there that he wasn't the first choice. Do you think other coaches passed on that job?
I would like to think. I think that they probably went after some of the big names that you would expected, the Lannings and so on, and maybe even just inquired with Kirby. Any chance? Nope. Okay. Boom. That's quick. You know what I mean? And so Lane Kiffin, did they do that? I'm not sure. But if you're Alabama and those guys fit the profile of what you wanted, why not? I said on your air last Thursday I would have preferred Kalen DeBoer not be their choice, because I just think he's just out of his element a little bit. I think he's a fine coach. I like the guy, but it seems to me like a quieter, less publicized, less scrutiny type deal is just better for him. And just his appearances on TV during the playoffs, the short ones, I like those. So I hope he does well. I just don't know if the pressure cooker that is Alabama football is going to suit him. I could be wrong, obviously, but good hire by Alabama though. Probably, I think he's a good coach.
I just wonder if the old adage of don't be the guy that follows the guy, be the guy that follows the guy that followed the guy. Be second behind. I just wonder if Lane Kiffin, if Dabo Sweeney, if Sarkisian, some of these others that came directly off of the Saban tree, perhaps. Said, you know what? I don't want to be the one to follow the goat, and because they went way off the tree to get this one.
They really did, and they those guys very well may have said, like, yeah, coming in behind Paul Bryant or whomever, it's been tough, and so why would you do that? And I don't know. The setup is in good shape there. The recruiting is good, and I think Kalen DeBoer will probably be a fine recruiter, but. I don't know. I don't know who they went after, the strongest, the Dan Lannings of the world, and what eventually led them to DeBoer. But it was done relatively fast, and, you got to credit Alabama and Byrne for getting that done.
Well, let's be honest. All these other guys that we enlisted, they're all rich already. They're all wealthy now. So, I mean, it's not like you've got to go to Alabama to get the bigger payday. Yeah, you would, but it's not a life-changing difference. All these guys are making phenomenal wealth where they're at.
Exactly. And, and Kirby, he's got his own kingdom going now, and he's a Georgia grad. So that one to me probably, and they might not have even inquired with him, but that one to me, I didn't think would happen. If this had gone down 3 or 4 years ago, I think Dabo would have been right at the top of the list. But I think his reluctance to embrace the NIL culture and all that probably cost him in the eyes of the folks at Alabama that made this decision.
Glad you brought that up. Arkansas has been reluctant to embrace NIL. Do you think that's hurt this athletics department with Hunter Yurachek and Sam Pittman's standpoint, Tom?
Well, I think they always understood it had to happen. Now, falling behind the curve a little bit with full court press, so to speak, watching the Grove Collective kind of get all the publicity in the last cycle probably was an eye-opener for them, and so they've tried. But here's the thing, no matter what your collective or your NIL plan looks like, it's your overall, here's Arkansas historically. Here's their football record. Here's their conference record in the SEC. Here's where their revenues stand. Here's the size, the capacity of their stadium. It's hard to break out of that and consistently be a 9 or 10 win team. Now, Ole Miss, smaller stadium, they've got a difference maker at coach. Let's see how long the Lane Kiffin deal goes. Right now, this is a short term, and perhaps he can turn it into a longer term deal. But to me, those are comparative programs, and even though Ole Miss has Mississippi State in the state with them. It's just, I think Arkansas has done okay in NIL. Obviously not Bafo, but now is the time. It's a big litmus test year for Sam Pittman and what NIL will lead to for the Razorbacks.
Tom, there's several job openings in the National Football League, including your Atlanta Falcons, and I wonder if there's an appetite to fill it with a new head coach or a guy that's been in the National Football League, Bill Belichick. Again, a lot of job openings. What have you made about some of the the jobs that are open now and maybe ones that might come open in Philly and Dallas.
Exactly. For the Falcons, I'd rather not have Bill Belichick. I just think that after Brady left, you could see he's making a lot of the personnel decisions. It's just not happening. I mean, maybe if he brings Hunter Henry down with him or something at some point. But no, I just feel like what has he got left to prove? Is can he really build a team now? And I don't know the answer to that, and I don't know if I want to find out. So I'd rather have a younger guy than him. Hey, man, we beat 3 of the teams that won playoff games: the Buccaneers and the Texans and the Packers. Beat them all. Yeah. But then we lost to a bunch of teams that are lower than us in the draft order. So I don't know what we're going to wind up with. We got a lot of holes to fill, and I feel bad for Cowboys fans because it did seem like the right year for them, and it was baffling how that playoff game unfolded. Like they hadn't played that style of defense all year long, and the Packers just lit them up. Yeah. And I don't know what they'll eventually do. But in the NFL, if you don't get it done within 2 or 3, 4 years now, they move on to somebody new.
Tom, real quick before we go, what do you expect to happen tonight at Bud Walton, and how much of a crowd do you think will show up considering record and considering the weather?
That's a great question. I am baffled as to. I mean, there'll be a representative crowd there, right, for sure. I drove yesterday, and I think I could drive today. I haven't really checked. I hope the Aggies got here safe, and if they do, shouldn't there be at least 10, 11, 12,000 folks there? I do not know what to expect.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.